Good morning, students. Today's class we will see some of the questions and answers of nursing foundations. The first question is nursing assessment. It is a systematic and continuous collection, organization, validation, and documentation of data. In effect, assessing is a continuous process carried out during all phases of nursing process. Collecting data means data collection is the process of gathering information about a client's status. It must be both systemic and continuous to prevent the omission of significant data and reflect a client's changing health status. A database is all the information about a client. It includes the nursing health history, physical assessment, primary care providers history, and physical examination results of laboratory and diagnostic tests and material contributed by other health personnel. Types of data include subjective data. It also referred as to be symptoms or covert data are apparent only to the person affected and can be described or verified only by that person. Itching, pain, feeling of worry are the examples of subjective data. It includes client sensation, feeling, attitude, and perception of personal health status and life situation. Objective data, also referred as signs or overt data, are detectable by an observer or can be measured or tested against accepted standard. They can be seen, heard, felt, or smelled, and they can be obtained by observation or physical examination. Constant data is information that does not change over time, such as race, blood group. Variable data can change quickly, frequently, or rarely and include such data as blood pressure and level of pain. Sources of data. Sources of data are primary and secondary. Client is the primary source of data. Family members or other support personnel, health professionals, records, reports, laboratory, and diagnostic analysis and relevant literature are secondary sources of data. Data collection methods. The main methods of collecting data are observing, interviewing, and examining. Observation occurs whenever the nurse is in contact with a client or support person. Interviewing is the major method used in physical health assessment. Data collection methods. The main methods used are observing, interviewing, and examining. Observation is a continuous, deliberate skill that is developed through effort and with an organized approach. Although nurses observe mainly through sight, most senses are engaged during careful observations. Observation has two aspects: noticing the data and selecting, organizing, and interpreting the data. The nurse who observes that a client face is flushed must relate that observation to findings of such as body temperature, activity, environmental temperature, and blood pressure. Errors can occur in selecting, organizing, and interpreting data. The experienced nurse is often able to attend to an intervention, that means give a bed bath or monitor an IV infusion at the same time make important observation, that means not a change in respiratory status or skin color. The beginning student must learn to make observations and complete tasks simultaneously. Second is interviewing. Interview is in a planned communication with a purpose, for example, to get information, identify problems of mutual concern, evaluate a change. There are two approaches to interviewing: directive and non-directive. Directive interview is the highly structured and elicits specific information. The nurse establishes the purpose of interview and controls the interview. During a non-directive interview or rapport building interview, the nurse allows the client to control the purpose, subject matter, and pacing. Rapport is an understanding between two or more people. A combination of directive and non-directive interview usually appropriate during information gathering the interview. Third one is examining. The physical examination or physical assessment is a systematic data collection method that uses observation, sense of sight, hearing, smell, and touch to detect the health problems. The conduct of examination, the nurse uses the technique of inspection, auscultation, palpation, and percussion. The physical examination is carried out systematically. It may be organized according to the examiner's preference in a head-to-toe approach, that is cephalocaudal or body system approach. The next step is documenting. Second step in the nursing process is nursing diagnosis. Diagnosing it is the second phase of nursing process. It is a pivotal step in the nursing process. The term diagnosing refers to the reasoning process, whereas the term diagnosis is a statement or conclusion regarding the nature of a phenomena. In 1982, the conference group accepted the name of North American Nursing Diagnosis Association. In short, we call it as NANDA. The standardized NANDA names the diagnoses are called diagnostic labels, and the client's problem statement consisting of the diagnostic label plus etiology. That etiology means the causal relationship between problem and its related risk factors is called nursing diagnosis. In 1990, NANDA adopted an official working definition of a nursing diagnosis: a clinical judgment of an individual, family, or community response to actual and potential health problems or life process. A nursing diagnosis provides a basis for selection of nursing interventions to achieve outcomes for which the nurse is accountable. The nursing diagnosis is a judgment made only after through the systematic data collection. Nursing diagnosis describe continuum of health status, deviations from health, presence of risk factors, and areas of enhanced personal growth. Problem or the diagnostic label and definition. The problem statement or diagnostic label describe the client health problem or response for which the nursing therapy is given. It describes the client health status clearly and concisely in few words. The purpose of diagnostic label is to direct the information of client goals and desired outcome. Qualifiers are the words that have been added to some NANDA labels to give additional meaning to the diagnostic statement. For example, deficient. Deficient means inadequate in amount, quality, or degree, not sufficient, incomplete. Or decrease, lesser in size, amount, or degree. Impaired, made worse, weakened, damaged, reduced, deteriorated. Ineffective, not producing the desired effect. Compromised, to make vulnerable to threats. Etiology. Etiology related to the fast factors and risk factors. The etiology component of a nursing diagnosis identifies one or more probable causes of health problem, gives direction to the required nursing therapy, and enables the nurse to individualize the client care. Defining characteristics. They are the cluster of signs and symptoms that indicate the presence of a particular diagnostic label. For actual nursing diagnosis, the defining characteristics are client signs and symptoms. For risk, the nursing diagnosis, no subjective or objective signs are present. Thus, the factors that cause the client to be more vulnerable to the problem from the etiology of a risk nursing diagnosis. The diagnostic process. The diagnostic process is used continuously by most nurses. An experienced nurse may enter the client's room and immediately observe a significant data and draw conclusion about that client. As a result of attaining knowledge, skill, and expertise in the practice setting, the expert nurse may seem to perform this mental process automatically. The diagnostic process has three steps. One is analyzing data, identifying the health problems, risk, and strength, and third is formulating diagnostic statement. First is analyzing the data. The diagnostic process analysis involves the following step: compare data against standards that identify significant cues, cluster clues, generate tentative hypothesis, and identify the gap and inconsistencies. Second, compare the data against the standard. Nurses draw on knowledge experience to compare client data to standards and norms and identify significant and relevant cues. Third, a standard or norm generally accepted measure, rule, or model for a pattern. A cue is considered significant if it does any of the following: points to negative or positive change in the client health status, varies from norms of client's population. The client's pattern may fit within the cultural norms but may vary from the norm of general society. Second is identifying the health problems, risk, and strength. After data analysis, the nurse and the client together identify the strength and the problems. Determining the problems and risk after grouping and clustering the data, the nurse and the client together identify the strength and problems that support tentative, actual, and risk diagnosis. In addition, the nurse must determine whether the client's problem is a nursing diagnosis or a medical diagnosis or a collaborate problem. Next is formulating diagnostic statement. For most nursing diagnoses are written two-part or three-part. Basic two-part is the first is the problem, that is P, statement of the client's response. Second is etiology, E, factors contributing or probable cause of response. These two parts are joined by the words related to rather than due to. The phrase used to due to implies that one part causes or it is responsible for the other part. By contrast, the phrase relatively to merely implies a relationship. Type of nursing diagnosis. There are five types of nursing diagnosis. First one is the actual diagnosis, is a client problem that present at the time of nursing assessment. Examples are ineffective breathing pattern. An actual nursing diagnosis based on the presence of associated symptom. Second, a risk nursing diagnosis is a clinical judgment that a problem does not exist but the presence of the risk factors indicate that the problem is likely to develop unless nursing intervenes. For example, all people admitted to the hospital have some possibility of acquiring infection. 3. Wellness diagnosis describes human response to levels of wellness in an individual, family, or community that have a readiness for enhancement. Examples: readiness diagnosis are readiness for enhanced spiritual well-being or readiness for enhanced family coping. Fourth one is possible nursing diagnosis, one in which the evidence about a health problem is incomplete or unclear. For example, an elderly widow admitted to a hospital and the nurse noticed that she have no visitors and pleased to have a conversation with the nursing staff. So the nurse may write possible social isolation related to unknown etiology. Fifth, syndrome diagnosis. It is a diagnosis associated with a cluster of other diagnoses. Third is evaluation in nursing process. Evaluate or to judge or to appraise. Evaluating is the fifth and last phase of nursing process. In this context, evaluating is planned, ongoing, purposeful activity in which the client and the healthcare professional determine a client's progress towards achievement of goals and outcomes and effectiveness of the nursing care plan. Evaluation is most important aspect of the process because the conclusion drawn from the evaluation determine whether the nursing intervention should be terminated, continued, or changed. Evaluation is continuous. Evaluation done while or immediately after implementing a nursing order enables the nurse to make on-the-spot modification and intervention. Evaluation performed at a specific intervals, for example once in a week for a home care patient, shows the extent of progress towards the goal achievement and enables the nurse to correct any deficiencies and modify the care plan as needed. Through evaluating, the nurse demonstrate responsibility and accountability for their actions, indicate interest in result of the nursing activities. Relationship of evaluating to other nursing process. Successful evaluation depends on effectiveness of the steps that precede it. Assessment data must be complete and accurate so that nurse can formulate appropriate nursing diagnosis and desired outcome. Desired outcome must be stated concretely in behavioral terms if they are to be useful for evaluating the client response. And finally, without implementing phase in which the plan is put into action, there would not be nothing to evaluate. Process of evaluating client response. Evaluation have five components. They are collecting data related to the desired outcome. Collecting data usually is clearly stated, precise and measurable desired outcome as a guide. The nurse collect data so that conclusions can be drawn about whether the goals have been met. It is usually necessary to collect both objective and subjective data. Some data may need interpretation. Examples of objective data requiring interpretation are degree of tissue turgor or of a dehydrated client. Examples of a subjective data requiring interpretation include complaints of nausea or pain by the client. When interpreting subjective data, the nurse must rely upon either the client statement or objective indicators of subjective data. Even though these indicators may require further interpretation, decreased restlessness, decreased pulse and respiratory rate, and relaxed facial muscles as indicators of pain relief. Data must be recorded accurately and concisely to facilitate the next part of evaluation process. Comparing data with outcome. Comparing data with outcome. Both nurse and the client play an active role in comparing client's actual response with the desired outcome. Did the client drink 3000 ml of fluid in 24 hours? Did the client walk unassisted the specified distance per day? When determining whether the goal has been achieved, the nurse can draw one of these possible conclusions. One, the goal was met, that is, the client response is same as the desired outcome. The goal was partially met, that is, either a short-term goal was achieved but long-term goal was not, or desired outcome was partially attained. The goal was not met. Third, relating nursing activities to outcome. It should be never assumed that a nursing activity was the cause or only factor in meeting or not meeting or partially meeting a goal. For example, client obeys and needed to lose 14 kg. The nurse and the client drew up a care plan. The goal was to lose 1.4 kg in 4 weeks. The nursing strategy in the care plan was explained how to plan and prepare 1200 calorie diet 4 weeks later. The client weighed herself and lost 1.8 kg. The goal was met. In fact, exceeded. Drawing conclusions about the problem status. The nurse uses judgment about goal achievement to determine whether the care plan was effective in resolving, reducing, or preventing client problems. When the goals has been met, the nurse can draw one of the following conclusions about the statement of the client problem. The actual problem stated in the nursing diagnosis has been resolved, or potential problem is being prevented and risk factors no longer exist. In these instances, the nurse documents the goals have been met and discontinues the care for the problem. The potential statement, the problem stated in the nursing diagnosis is being prevented, but the risk factors still present. In this case, the nurse keeps the problem on the care plan. The actual problem still exists even though some goals have been met. For example, desired outcome on a client care plan is will drink 3000 ml fluid daily. Even though data may show this outcome has been achieved, other data like dry oral mucous membrane may indicate that there is deficient fluid volume. Therefore, the nursing intervention must continue even though the goal was met. Continuing, modifying, and terminating the nursing help. And after drawing conclusions about the status of the client's problems, the nurse modify the care plan as indicated. Depending on the agency, modification may be made by drawing the line through the portions of the care plan or marking the portions using a highlighting pen or writing discontinued, goal met, or problem resolved, and the date. Whether or not goals are met, number of decisions need to be made about continuing, modifying, or terminating nursing care plan for each problem. Before making modification, the nurse must determine if the plan as a whole not completely effective. This requires a review of entire care plan and critique of each step of the nursing process involved in its development. Guidelines for writing expected outcome. Write goals and outcome in terms of client response, not nurse activities. Beginning each goal statement with the client will may help the focus the goal on the client behaviors and response. Avoid statement that starts with enable, facilitate, allow, let, permit, or similar verbs following by the word client. These verbs indicate what the nurse hopes to accomplish, not the client will do. Correct, client will drink 100 ml water per hour. Incorrect, maintain client hydration, that is a nursing action. Be sure that desired outcomes are realistic for nurse client capacity, capabilities, limitations, and designated time span if it is indicated. Time limitation refers to finances, family support, social service, physical and mental condition, and time. For example, the outcome measures insulin accurately may be unrealistic for a client who has poor vision due to cataracts. Ensure the goals have desired outcomes are compatible with therapies of other professionals. Make sure each goal is derived only one nursing diagnosis. Use observable, measurable terms for outcome. Avoid words that vague and require interpretation for judgment by the observer. For example, phrases such as increased daily exercise and improved knowledge of nutrition can mean different things to different people. Make sure the client considers the goals and desired outcome important and values them. Some outcomes, such as those for the problem related to the self-esteem, Parenting and communication involve choices that are best made by the client or in collaboration with the client. Components of a nursing care plan. The main components of a nursing care plan include assessment, that is collecting data, organize data, validate data, document data, nursing diagnosis, analyze data, identify health problems, risk and strengths, and formulate diagnostic statement. Formulate goals and desired outcomes. Select nursing intervention, write nursing interventions. Implementation, that is reassess the client, determine the nurse need for assistance, implement the nursing intervention, supervise, delegate and care and document nursing activities. Evaluation, collect data related to outcomes, compare data with outcome, relate the nursing actions to the client goals, outcome, draw conclusions about problem status and continue, that is modify or terminate client's care plan. A student care plan, because student care plan is learning activity as well as a plan of care. They may be lengthy and detailed than care plan used by working nurses. To help the students to learn to write the care plan, we may require modify the plan by adding a column for rationale after nursing interventions. A rationale is the scientific principle given as a reason for selecting particular nursing intervention. Students may also require to cite the supporting literature for the stated rationale. Thank you. Thank you for listening.